Hey guys, and welcome to my GhostBusters Afterlife review. I waited a extra day to post this just because I wanted to collect my thoughts and, maybe over another few hours my mind would change in the movie, but I don't think it has. So I walked out of the theater feeling disappointed, which was not the feeling that I wanted to feel. I really wanted to come out of there feeling satisfied, but I cannot say that I did. As much as I wanted to like this movie, as much as I wanted to enjoy it, I can't say that I did. So before I go into the negatives, I want to start with what I did like about the movie, because there were some things in there that I did enjoy. I think the biggest thing for me was the nostalgia factor. They threw a lot of the old score in from the old movie. Like the music is phenomenal throughout this whole thing, very reminiscent of the original movie. The tone, the atmosphere, it's all great. It feels like a movie set in the Ghostbusters universe, but it does not feel like the third Ghostbusters. But other than the tone, and the atmosphere, I can't say there's much about this movie that I liked. How maybe the whole awe factor of it, they take the first movies very seriously. They treat them with respect. Everything that, like the proton packs, the ghost traps, Ecto 1, or is it? It's Ecto 1, right? Yeah, I don't know. It's all treated with a lot of respect. There's a lot of awe factor whenever they show something from the old movie on screen. So that I liked. That I definitely liked, because as an audience member, as somebody who is seeing an actual good Ghostbusters movie for the first time in like 30 plus years, that's the feeling that you're gonna get, and they translate that onto screen very well. So what exactly didn't I like about this movie? Let me get into that. So I think the biggest thing that killed this movie for me was the cast of characters. I don't think there was a single likable one. Now keep in mind, this is my opinion. I've seen a lot of people think otherwise. They actually like the cast of characters. I hate them. Phoebe, the main girl, so annoying. I hated every time she was on the screen. She was her and Podcast were two of the most annoying kids I've ever seen in my life. She tells these god-awful jokes throughout the whole movie. And there was one scene that it was the absolute worst. It's when they show the pyramid. They have Gozer with the flat top, the skin-tight suit, just like the first movie. I was like, this is great. This feels so much like the first movie. What are they going to do? And then she just comes in with this god-awful, what do you call fish with no eyes joke. I put my head down and I just shook it. I was like, God, like, can they like possess her and just get her out of here? I'm getting heated here, but I really did not like her character, just because she ruins so many scenes for me that had the potential to be great, had the potential to bring me back to, I'm only 19, so I wasn't born, but I wasn't born when those first Ghostbuster movies came out, but bring me back to when I first saw the Ghostbusters. And Phoebe just comes in, she kills every scene that she's in. Not in a good way, but I mean, she literally just butchers it, and that's enough for her. So I talked about her and Podcast. I don't like them, they're annoying. Finn Wolfhard's character, I don't remember his character's name in the movie. Again, I thought maybe I would be able to, he's younger than I am, but I thought maybe I would be able to see myself as this character. But he's just a brat the whole movie. He's a brat, and he's again, he like his sister, he's really annoying. He does this thing where he tells this girl that he likes that he's 17, but he's actually 15, and I don't know. He just didn't sit right with me. The mom character is a bitch. I don't know what else to say about her. She is like, it's like, so, I get that she's like overworked, she's stressed out, she's a single parent, she has no money. And yeah, realistically, this is probably how she would be, but it's a movie, and you like, don't you want to make her likable? Every time she talks to her kids, it's like awful. The things that she says to her kids they're terrible. It's like, oh, fuck. you know, anybody can be a stressed out mom who's mean to their kids and is, I don't know, just whatever. A likable version of her character would have been somebody in her situation who makes light of things and is still a good parent to her kids. And it's, well, yes, it might not be the most realistic. Again, it's a movie, and you want me to like your characters, right? She does nothing redeeming throughout this whole movie that makes me like her. Paul Rudd's character is great. Everybody knew that. I mean, he was meant for this movie. Unfortunately, my biggest complaint with him is he's a side character. Equivalent to his character in the first Ghostbusters would be the Keymaster. I don't remember what they called him, but it was Bill Murray's love interest, her neighbor, the guy who ends up being the Keymaster. Whatever. That is Paul Rudd's role in this movie, and it's way too small of a role for him. Honestly, this movie probably would have been a 10 out of 10 for me if it was just only about him. You throw the kids in the trash, and you just make it about Paul Rudd. Because every scene that he's in is great, especially the Walmart scene, which you know was just advertising. They were definitely in the writer's room being like, how do we get the most amount of advertising in one shot in this movie? And there's like, scene in Walmart, easy. The scene in Walmart, most unrealistic part about this movie was the fact that there's not a single employee to be found. Actually, maybe that is a very realistic part about this. But the parking lot was empty and there was no customers to be found in a Walmart. Let's cut through it. I mean, I don't know. I don't have that much to say about this movie other than I don't like the cast. I think they completely killed it. This movie probably would have worked better if they didn't do kids. Personally, I found it a little insulting that they only brought in the original cast for the last 5 minutes of the movie. I mean, again, like I said, I shouldn't have expected this, but really, five minutes? At maybe 10 at most? At the end of the movie? You only bring them in for a short cameo? I personally went to this movie to see them. I give no shits about the kids, and I was right. They were not interesting for this entire movie. I didn't care about them. All I cared about was seeing the original cast, and they slap you in the face, and they don't give that to you until the very end of the movie. And yeah, I know that they're old. I know that they're old. They probably couldn't have done a full-length Ghostbusters movie at their age, but you should have given them a little more screen time. Also, you shouldn't have made them look as old as they are in the movie. Like, it was kind of sad to see them, honestly. I was like, damn, like, that sucks. And then they get their asses kicked. Oh god, this part irks me. The Ghostbusters get their asses kicked immediately by Gozer, and then the little girl comes in, and she like, yeah, they're really old, but she's also a stick figure 12-year-old little girl, so they're probably on the same level of strength. So why did they make her stronger? Like, she put up more of a fight against Gozer than they did. Oh my god. I don't know. At the end of the day, I don't know who they made this movie for. Definitely was not for the fans of the original, because the fans of the original are like me and like 40-year-old, 50-year-old dudes. So this was not for them. I don't think this movie was made for kids either. I mean, the humor in it definitely was. The jokes will definitely only resonate with 12-year-olds. But it's a continuation of a 40-year-old movie. I don't think that 12-year-old kids are the main demographic for this. So I'm so confused. Like, I didn't find anything in this movie funny. I like the references, but the kids aren't going to get the references. The kids are only going to like the jokes. So it's like halfway. It's like they throw things in there for the people, the fans of the original, but then it seems like, you know, they have like main cast of kids. The jokes are for kids. They got rid of anything that made this movie not a kids movie in the original. Like the whole keymaster and gatekeeper fucking thing. Like, they had a little bit in that, but they didn't go to the extent of it as they did in the first movie. And like the weirdness and just, like, when I watched the first Ghostbusters, I'm like, I don't think this is a kids movie. Maybe it's like a teen movie, or like, yeah, you can show kids a Ghostbusters movie and it probably wouldn't be the biggest deal in the world, but I don't think it was made for them. And this movie really seems like it was made for them, which, it's fine if you want to make a kids movie, but like, you realize that your fans of this are 50. They're like fucking, like, that's the original fans, and they didn't make this movie for them, which is really disappointing. Last thing I'm gonna say is Spangler. They did him so dirty in this movie. I thought we were kind of like, I thought that CGIing dead people into movies had kind of been like established as a disrespectful thing to do now. And I'm not gonna be that guy who's going everywhere being like, oh, they disrespected him, blah, 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 blah. But if you're gonna do that, at least do it in a good way. It felt so unnecessary and disrespectful in this movie, because it's like they went through the effort to CGI him into the movie, but then every time he's on the screen, it just looks so stupid. Not the actual CGI. He looked real. Like, honestly, if you didn't tell me he was CGI, and if I didn't know that he had died in real life, I probably wouldn't have noticed. But they don't make him talk. The characters are literally trying to have full-on conversations with him, like in his ghostly form, and he's just going like this the whole time. They'll be like, oh, he's seeing his daughter for the first time, his granddaughter for the first time. He's seeing the old Ghostbusters for the first time in like however many years. And they're being like, oh, we missed you so much, we love you, blah, blah, blah. They're giving him hugs and crying, and the entire time he's just like, you went through the effort to CGI a dead man, but you didn't go through the effort to give him a voice? Come on. I don't know. Last thing I want to say, because I forgot to throw this in here when I was talking about the kids, they're so nonchalant during this movie that it's so bad. There's one scene in particular where it's Finn Wolfhard, it's the girl that he has a crush on, and all those kids, they just decide that, hey, you know what, we're just gonna leave work and go up to the mountains. I don't know who their boss is, but if I was their boss, I'd find some new employees pretty quick, because it doesn't seem like these ones take their job very seriously. Anyways, they all go up to the mountains, and they're standing over the mine shaft, and then it starts to shake, and the literal gate to hell opens beneath them. And you can see Gozer like reaching his hand down, and he's going, Gozer! And then this giant beam of light shoots out, all in front of the kids' eyes. And you want to know how they react to this? They sort of just sit there, stare at it for a second, and then one of the kids just starts laughing, and then they all just start laughing, and then the scene ends, and we get no other explanation of that. They just laugh it off. That's not even it. I mean, through and through, this entire movie, the kids have no reaction to literal ghosts being in front of them. I don't know. Maybe that's just how desensitized we are now, that if we can literally see the gate to hell opening in front of us, and we can just laugh it off. I don't know. I could go on and on about this movie with all the stuff that I was able to nitpick, but these are my general thoughts. This is it's how the movie was. Disappointing. Very, very disappointing for me. So, what am I going to give it? I'm going to have to go with a 6. I'll go with a 6 out of 10. By no means is this a bad movie. It's just, in the context, and, it's in what it's supposed to be, it doesn't do its job. Yeah, I'm not too sure why they feel the need to completely reboot all these series with all new cast of characters that nobody asked for. The thing that made the first Ghostbusters so good was the cast, and I don't know, you change that and you don't have the same magic from the first movie. I didn't expect this movie to have the same magic as that one, but I wanted to leave feeling a little more satisfied, feeling a little better about this movie than I did. It's definitely, it's a fun movie to watch. You're not going to be bored going into this. Probably won't be checking the time. But the reason I give it such a low score is mainly because of I went into this wanting more of the original Ghostbusters. Not the same, but I wanted more of the original cast in this, and they didn't deliver that to me. After the train wreck of 2016, I thought they probably would have given the fans a little more of what they wanted, but they failed to do so. So yeah, I would recommend it. Like I said, it's a fun movie. I just think that if you're a huge fan of the originals and you're expecting what I was expecting, you're gonna be disappointed. And I think that's all I have to say about this movie. So, if you guys saw it, let me know what you think in the comments. And with that all being said, I'll see you in the next video. Later.